For today's video, we are going to be talking about all of the modes and the extras in Mario Party Jamboree. Recently, we got a bunch of information on some of the new modes, so I figured that instead of this being the last video in which it was going to be, we're going to talk about everything a little bit earlier than I had planned. The minigames video was supposed to go up today, but will instead come out 3 days from now. But without further ado, let's get into it. To start off, we should talk about the main Mario Party mode, since it's most likely the main mode that we'll all be playing in the game. You have your generic play with 4 people, run around one of the 7 boards, getting coins and playing minigames to get as many stars as you can to win the game, with now having allies show up similar to Super, but different in its own regard. We'll get to that specific thing in another video. But now there is a new mode in this Mario Party section called Championship Rules, as per the translations from the Japanese website. In this new way to play Mario Party, each game will consist of specifically 12 turns. No more, no less. After you choose your board, every player will choose one item from a list of items to bring into the board. As shown here, before you go into Mega Wiggler's Tree Party, you get to choose one of either a mushroom, creepy dice, warp box, warp pipe, chomp call, 10 coin hex, and what seems to be the cellular shopper from Mario Party 3. We'll talk more about these items and more at a later time though. Also, before you start the game, it will give you a list of 3 different bonus stars, and one of them will be the bonus star that you can get at the end of the game, so pay attention to which they are as you go through said game. In the actual mode itself, the shops will have a limited amount of items that you can buy, most likely per shop. In the screenshots we see for one of the shops, it looks like there are only 2 of each item. Once the 2 of a specific item has been bought, it will never replenish in that shop, so make sure you either get the items that you need or potentially buy some of the items that you think others may need, so that way you can steal it from right under their nose. In the main Mario Party mode, things like the lucky spaces are determined by roulette. However, in this mode, you get to choose what you want, with the example being 10 coins or a double dice. I'm not 100% certain that these are the only 2 things that can be gotten on lucky spaces in this mode, but it definitely could be that way. We also learned that if you land on Bowser in this mode, you are almost guaranteed to lose a star if you have one. The only thing you might get to choose is the type. The final 2 things that we know for sure is that if you steal coins with Boo here, you will get a fixed amount of coins from whoever you choose, and hidden blocks will not appear on the spaces in this mode. The questions that I have here are, do unlucky spaces work the same as lucky? What happens on item spaces? Are chance time place win something if this is supposed to be like the quote-unquote competitive Mario Party? And the final one for me is, do we get to use the Bowser phone here? Because if so, many, and I mean many, friendships will be lost with this mode. Also, in case you were wondering, yes, you can play both this and the normal Mario Party mode online with either your friends or with random people. It has been confirmed for both. Next, we have the 3 other online modes that we have known for a while, being Koopathlon, 10 Koopathlon minigames, and after you play the 3, you'll play a Bowser Koopathlon minigame, and if you fall or you lose it, you'll be sent back a specific amount of spaces coinciding with when you fell off or when you lost. Games, and the amount that you collect will be the amount of spaces that you move on the board. The first person to do 5 total laps will win. This is a mode that you can play with either random people or with up to 8 friends online. With Bowser Kaboom Squad, you'll work together in a team of 8 to bring bombs into cannons to shoot down the imposter Bowser. You'll have 5 90-second rounds to do this, with an 8-player minigame taking place after each of probably the first 4 rounds. To some of the better items in this mode to choose from to help make your odds of beating the imposter Bowser easier and quicker. After you defeat him, you're going to mash your way at the end to fully get rid of him. Now, I heard in one video that apparently they were playing on an easy mode for this, so it may be where this mode has multiple difficulties like an easy, a normal, and a hard. Also, just like with Koopathlon, you can play this mode with either 8 friends or with random people online. Finally, we have the mode that I would personally bet of these 3 that would be played most offline with Minigame Bay. Here you'll have 5 different ways of playing the minigames, starting with your normal free play where you can choose which minigame to play and in whatever order you choose to do so. From here, it looks like we have 3 modes returning from Mario Party Superstars, being the survival mode where you play minigames and get as many wins as you can in a row, the 2v2 team battles where you just play 2v2s against people from around the world, and the daily minigames where you play a group of 3 minigames based off of differing themes. There's also a new mode where you'll play specifically the Jamboree Buddy minigames. Now, this is fully speculation on my part, and not blocking some sort of entrance. So it totally could be just designs, but there is the possibility of a 6th mode here that they either do not want to show off or talk about yet, or they may be waiting for us to discover and play it ourselves. Now let's move on to the offline only modes, first starting with the ones that require your Joy-Cons first. The first mode is Paratroopa Flight School, where you'll use your Joy-Cons to fly over yourself, more or less to just get used to the area itself and explore until your heart's content. Then you have a mode where you and a friend will work together to bring other characters to their desired location and try not to drop them along the way. Then you have a mode where you can go against a friend to collect the most amount of Parabitty Buds within what looks to be a 90-second time limit. Next we have Toad's Item Factory, where you'll have 30 different levels of working together to get a ball from one warp pipe to the other by rotating, shaking, or turning your Joy-Cons in the ways that you need to be able to continue and complete each level. We don't know as of yet whether you have to play this with 4 people or if it's something that you can play with maybe AIs or potentially controlling everything by yourself. The final of these modes is Rhythm Kitchen. These are similar to the rhythm minigames from Super Mario Party, however, all of these are now food themed. The one thing that's uncertain about this is how many you actually play per round, whereas in Super it was always specified as 3. But hey, I am always down to play some rhythm minigames, even if it's by myself. We do have one final mode to go over that we know of as for now, and that is the single player mode that seems to be akin to Mario Party Advance. In this new single-player roaming fashion, doing tasks for other characters, like buying and bringing a crate from the shop to a Toad, and finding some firewood for a Shy Guy. You will also have mini-games that you can play to win and get mini-stars, as well as the tasks that were previously mentioned. You'll have to go around and get 30 of them to complete the board. Now, once you reach those 30 mini-stars, the aura of the imposter Bowser will come down onto the screen, and I believe now is where we finally see where the boss minigames, like the B one that we know of, truly come into play. Since there were only 5 of those mystery minigames, and in this mode we can only play on the 5 new boards, I think we have a match made here. Now, whether or not this is where we would unlock the Bowser board or not is to be seen, but it's either that or by playing the 4 boards that are already unlocked normally. Those would be my best guesses. Either way, I am very excited for this mode. Finally, we'll talk about the other little things of this game that aren't specifically modes, but do add to the experience. First off, in the normal Mario Party modes, all of the UI and the reactions are on the bottom of the screen and shift around depending on whose turn it is. This is probably the best way to do this, especially with the reactions, so that way they don't take up a good amount of the screen with how it was in Superstars, since in there, it was all 4 of the corners. While also with this, every turn you'll see the minigame symbol at the end of everybody, and from time to time you'll see other symbols that are specific to boards or turns, like the home stretch, the tides rising and lowering in Goomba Lagoon, the flash sale in Rainbow Galleria, Bowser taking a turn in King Bowser's Keep, and maybe some others that we do not know of just yet. We also learned that there are a total of 109 reactions in the game, with probably 66 of them being specifically for the playable characters, which would mean 3 each, and 43 of them that could be used by every single player. You can also create your own card that can be shared online that you can buy stickers to put on each using party points, but the thing that I wonder about the party points is, will they only be used for things like the stickers and maybe the backgrounds of these cards, or will they be used for maybe some music stuff, or maybe this is where you'll be able to get like the 2 unlockable characters? I don't know, but hey, it's thoughts to be had. There is one other thing that I do feel like I need to mention, and it is about how to unlock all the 3 unlockable boards. The first board you're going to be unlocking is Western Land, where you have to reach the silver player rank. Now, my guess when it comes to these player ranks is it's going to work where basically what online only thing or an offline only thing. I just think that it's so long as you're actually playing the game, playing the modes, whether online or offline, you'll get points to go towards this rank. Just like if you were playing online or offline in Mario Party Superstars, you always got to keep the coins of all of the games. But that, I believe, is everything that has to do with the modes and extras for Mario Party Jamboree. Check back here in 3 days to see me talk about every single minigame and show off some footage for some that we didn't have the last time that I talked about them, when we got that big look at all of them with pictures. Either way, see you then.